Fear is a natural reaction hardwired into the nervous system of humans and animals. It kicks in whenever you're in danger, thanks to the sympathetic nervous system. In other words, if you could switch it off, you'd basically be John Wick. Fear is essential for survival, but modern humans, we've managed to rack up about 999 different phobias. And today, we're going to explore them. Most of these are really just anxiety disorders that get exaggerated online. On Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. My sources are from the internet, so if I mess something up, feel free to roast me in the comments. Thanatophobia, fear of death. Between 3% and 10% of people have this one, including me. It's that constant dread of dying, eating, afraid of choking, showering, afraid of a stroke, sleeping, afraid you won't wake up. From what I've seen, women deal with this more often, probably because men are too busy doing dumb stuff like this. Necrophobia, fear of dead things. A branch of the fear of death, zombies, corpses, coffins, graveyards. Who isn't afraid of that? Unless you're in a very specific profession, nobody looks at a corpse and thinks, cool, but hey, the cure is simple. Just learn how to plant a tree. Megalophobia, fear of huge objects. About 7% of people have this fear. It's the terror of massive things, airplanes, skyscrapers, whales, dinosaurs, even the Statue of Liberty or the Eiffel Tower. Thank God I don't have it. Otherwise, every time I looked down between my legs, I'd pass out. Thalassophobia, fear of the deep ocean. This one's brutal. You imagine sharks sinking into the abyss or monsters hiding under the surface. I've got this fear too. Looking into the deep sea makes me feel like I can't breathe. Add in the size and shape of deep sea creatures, tsunamis, and floods. Nightmare fuel. That's why thalassophobia is TikTok's favorite phobia. Creepy ocean videos plus scary music, ishio, or instant views.
Yo ho, all hands hoist the colors high. Heave ho.
Trypophobia, fear of holes. Yep, this one's real. About 15% of people have it. Looking at clusters of holes, like lotus seed pods or weird skin patterns, makes them feel sick. Fun fact, the iPhone triple lens camera actually triggered it for some people. Automatonophobia, fear of human-like figures. Mannequins, dolls, human-shaped statues. They're not real people, but they look real enough to creep you out. This is tied to the uncanny valley effect, is a concept in robotics and psychology that describes the unsettling, eerie, or even creepy feeling people get when they see artificial figures, like robots, CGI characters, or cartoons, that look almost human but not quite right. Instead of appearing friendly, the tiny, unrealistic details make them disturbing. The term was introduced by Professor Masahiro Mori in 1970 and is often illustrated with a graph that dips into a valley, representing this drop in comfort. Claustrophobia, fear of small spaces, afraid of elevators, crawl spaces, being trapped in dark, cramped places. Honestly, who wouldn't be scared of being locked inside a coffin? Most cases come from childhood trauma, like being locked in a room as punishment. Agoraphobia, fear of open spaces, the opposite of claustrophobia. People panic in wide open or empty spaces, malls, hospitals, forests. These people would be horrified if they looked at my wallet. Acrophobia, fear of heights. Most people feel at least a little uneasy when they're up high, a natural fear of falling. But for those with a true fear of heights, the reaction can be much more intense. Panic, screaming, a racing heartbeat, or even the urge to run. Around 2 to 5% of the population is affected by this phobia. However, women are less afraid of heights because they usually sit on top of men. Coulrophobia, fear of clowns. Interestingly, adults tend to fear clowns more than children. Only about 1 in 100 kids are afraid of clowns, compared to 1 in 10 adults. This fear has been heavily exploited in movies like IT, Joker, and Terrifier. Many trace the origins of modern clown phobia back to the infamous case of John Wayne Gacy in the US, whose crimes left a lasting association between clowns and brutality. Even Johnny Depp has admitted to being terrified of them. Zoophobia is the fear of animals. The ones people are usually afraid of are snakes, centipedes, sharks, tigers, leopards, spiders, and so on. Among them, we have ophidiophobia, the fear of snakes, and arachnophobia, the fear of spiders. These two are considered instinctive fears, something humans are born with, shaped by evolution. Phasmophobia is the fear of ghosts. It's super common. You don't know what a ghost looks like. You've never actually seen one, and yet you're still terrified. The funny thing is, people who are the most scared of ghosts are usually the ones who love watching horror movies the most. When I was little, every night after turning off the lights, I had to run and jump straight into bed. Otherwise, the ghost would catch me. And of course, I had to pull the blanket over my head, or else the ghost would touch my feet. Social phobia, also known as social anxiety disorder, is when you don't want to talk to anyone, you just want to stay home. In Japan, people like this are sometimes called otaku or hikikomori. They prefer staying inside, rarely engage with society, and usually spend most of their time gaming or online. Psychologically, social anxiety is tied to the constant pressure of society's expectations, like, you should be this, or you should act that way. You're scared of embarrassing yourself, being laughed at, or becoming the subject of gossip. The way to overcome it? Don't care. Hypochondria is the fear of being sick. You're always worried about your health, obsessing over tiny symptoms, convincing yourself you're ill, even after the doctor tells you you're perfectly fine. But then you go on Google, type in your symptoms, and of course the result always says cancer. Esoptrophobia is the fear of mirrors, being scared of looking at yourself or your reflection. This might come from body image issues, or from believing in things like a parallel world beyond the mirror, or urban legends about summoning Bloody Mary. For me, it's just because I think I'm ugly. Decidophobia is the fear of making decisions. You're afraid your choice will make everything worse. Honestly, dealing with someone like this can be frustrating because they keep going in circles, unable to decide on even one thing. Monophobia is the fear of being abandoned. People with this phobia feel anxious and panicked when they're alone, afraid of being left out or isolated. It's somewhat similar to agoraphobia. If this keeps happening, it can lead to depression or even autism-like withdrawal due to the lack of a sense of safety. This often shows up in kids from unhappy families, where the parents are divorced or absent. These are just some of the phobias that many people struggle with. But honestly, there are plenty more out there. Do you have any phobias yourself? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Echo Depth. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of my videos. And hey, I hope you don't have a phobia of the subscribe button.